All right, good morning, guys. Welcome in.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Let's get horned up.
Oh, we got Mike on the webinar this morning. Good morning, everybody. We have a lot to go over this morning. Money Mike and Big Head Brett. Yep, we are here. We are here. We are live. How'd you guys all do yesterday? How'd you guys all do yesterday? Did you guys all have a good day yesterday? I'm
Oh,
echoing, they're saying. A little bit of echo on my end. Let me see.
SPY's about to lose our level pre-market. $1 candle.
Yeah. This is where it is, 681. This is where it is.
Starting to sell a bit, guys.
681.
Let's see.
All right, so let's dive right into it. We have a lot to go over this morning, guys. We have Mike here. We're going to talk about what's going on SPY. SPY actually looks really good, Mike. It actually has a nice structure going into this session. So let's talk about this today. We'll go over SPY, what's going on here in the chart. We'll go over the ES chart this morning as well. Obviously, ES doing the same thing, 6850, big level here on the ES chart. We'll go over the Qs as well. QQQ on the docket, right? The 61850 level. You can see it's just the demand we've been holding for a few days in a row now. And the question is, do we finally break down under our Q's demand? We'll go over AMD. AMD really nice yesterday, right? We had a really good analysis in AMD. AMD did well. We'll talk about AMD today's session as well. We'll go over Nvidia. We'll go over Nvidia's chart, the Nvidia 192 level. We were just at the PDL again today, so 192 on Nvidia being a very important pivot this session. Okay, we'll go over Meta as well. Meta straight downside yesterday, actually colossal downside, very unexpected colossal downside on Meta chart. We'll talk about this today's session as well. Okay, we'll go over some Apple charts as well. We'll go over a little bit of Amazon, a little Amazonian action, right? And we'll finish off the stream with some tickers you guys are watching. So without further ado, I want to dive into. By the way, whoa, Foeva, Young, Brett, Mike, do you tend to size down near the end of the year and Thanksgiving, Christmas? Transparently, it depends on the year, man. If I'm doing well, I don't size down, and I'll kind of just keep I already have cushion built up for the year, and I'll just coast at the same size. But it's either keep same size or lower. Never really raise size into end of year, because at the end of the year I'm just looking to protect my gains that I built up. But it doesn't always mean I have to size down to like a very small amount. Mike, you're probably the same way, I presume, right? Probably a little bit lower.
Yeah, I sized down a bit, but it really depends on the setup. I mean, if there's great action, I'm going to be aggressive.
Yeah, and it also depends how much cushion you develop for the quarter, right?
Yeah.
If you had a good quarter, there's no reason to size down that much. Okay, so on the earnings docket for today's session, we have Disney in the pre-market. We'll take a look at DIS. We forgot that yesterday. Disney in the pre-market. We'll take a look at that and see what's going on there. We have JD pre-market, gambling.com. I don't know what that is, but definitely not going to be going over that one. And then we have AMAT in the after hours today's session. In terms of our Econ data for today's session, Econ data was, we were supposed to get CPI this morning. And Mike, it looks like we didn't get that, right?
We did not get that.
We did not get that.
Delayed, even though the government's officially reopened. We didn't get the CPI.
They're sleeping. They're sleeping.
They're sleeping on us.
Close it again. Close it again. They're sleeping. It might as well just be closed at this point. 9:30. We have Kashkari speaking. Great guy, but always very hawkish. And then we have more Fed speakers, more Fed speakers, more Fed speakers, more Fed speakers. So today's session, important session. I think people are a little bit disappointed though, because investors were anticipating a CPI release this morning, and now we're all waking up in the morning like WTF? Where is the CPI release, right? The government's reopened. Give us the data. Stop joking around, right? That's what everyone's saying this morning. So again, expect some wonky price action because of that response. Even tomorrow morning we have a PPI release. Would be funny today. This would be the funniest thing, would be if we got CPI released in the intraday session. It would be actually hilarious, and it would be the first time I've ever seen that. So the CPI release at like 11 o'clock would be hilarious. I don't know if it's going to happen, and it's very speculative to say that, but let's see what happens there on what's it called, with the CPI release. Okay, let's dive into the SPY chart. Rashawn, I agree. We got to get Mike working on his YouTube channel, but he doesn't want to do it. pressure him to work on his YouTube channel. I 100% agree. Okay, Mike, I'm actually going to let you start off the stream today on SPY. What do you think?
Yeah, guys, it's all about 681 for the downside. It looks like we're starting to break pre-market. That's unfortunate, but it's okay. If we start breaking this down, we can just take retest rejects of that level. And then for upside at this point, I don't know if it'll happen, but 684, if we reclaim that at some point today, that's where I would look for longs.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that 681 level today. Yesterday's session,
Yeah.
I was the double horned bull. Okay, and people were calling me, Butterball. They were calling me Porky, right? They were
No
calling,
one was calling you Butterball.
they were all calling me that. No, I like to say it because it makes me want to win even more. But I was longing here, right? The 682s, the 680, the six first of all, 683s first, but then the 682s, then the 681s. I was longing all day yesterday, and the reason why was because if you guys remember from the pre-market, I trade what I say in the pre-market. And yesterday pre-market session, I said that a pullback to the 682s would be the most valid scenario, right? First of all, I did say PDH 683.50 to 683 as your first pullback long, but your second and most probable pullback long was the 682s. And if you look at the market yesterday, the trend yesterday, this is important. You have to understand. I'm trying to explain why yesterday was bull bias and why today may be a day to shift, right? But if you look at the trend yesterday, the trend was uptrend, right? So this is a very clear uptrend on SPY. Okay. Now, if you draw a trend from here to here, it's more clear, right? If you draw a trend from the lows of Monday session, you'll see what I was talking about, right? There's an overall uptrending hourly time frame. Okay, we broke down underneath it for a second, 11 o'clock, but then the 1 hour candle shifted back up higher, and we showed strength into close. Now, I actually like this chart a lot because for me yesterday, I was longing all yesterday. I was longing all morning, right? I longed the. I'll show you where my entries were. I longed the 683s. I got stopped out at 682.70. I longed the 682s. Got a big upside move. I longed again the 681s, got a big upside move. I was longing this whole demand zone yesterday. Now today's session, all those longs that were in here yesterday, how do you think they're reacting to this downside move in the pre-market session, right? And that to me is more telling than anything else. I know now that if we, Brett's got imaginary ops. Yeah, that is literally that's exactly what I'm saying. It's I actually we do have one op, Mike, but
Yeah, we do have one up.
we do have one op. Anyway, so 681 is your 681 is your big level, and this morning what Mike is talking about is if we can clear back under the PDL downside. It's very simple. I know there's a lot of levels in my chart this morning, but it is a pretty simple pre-market session. PDL is your big level, and where's your next level, Mike, on SPY?
For me, if we lose 681, we go to 679. If we lose 679, we go to 676.
Right? Do you have 680 as a level or no?
I mean, it's the whole number. That's where we bounced a couple times. It was super obvious a couple weeks ago, though. I don't know if they'll be that obvious this time.
I hope it breaks too. I think that the
Yeah.
most like the most probable scenario today is under 681. We flush sell to 680, 679, 680, and I would like that a lot.
Yeah.
And it's actually interesting because I don't know. I mean, the price action on the SPY chart has been you see it moving in series of twos, right? So everything that's been happening on SPY is moving in series of twos. So you see downside day one, continuation downside day two, downside day one, then it kind of reverses day three, then upside. So you see two, and then now you have SPY the first day and Wednesday session showing downside. So in theory, like I think the most probable scenario would be downside this next day, Thursday session, but this would be it would be nice, but we have to see it under 681. So even though like the everything working in twos is nice and nice and cute, but 681 has to break, and I think that's going to give us the more clear downside. And I do agree with what Mike's saying though. 681 breaks, we should move back into that Tuesday's lows. So Tuesday's lows 679 will be the most probable target here on SPY. What about ES?
Yes. I can tell you, it is 68.50.
68.50. Yeah, that's the exact thing I have too. I think this is more clear to me than SPY, to be honest.
Yeah, that's where we also bounced a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Aggressively.
Yep.
Yeah, 68.50.
Yep. Look at the lows that he's talking about. You see these lows? Bam, 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 right? And that's where we are right now in the pre-market session. Now on Wednesday session, if you guys came to the pre-market, you probably knew something. you knew not to be long, or sorry, short back into 6850, right? This was our long spot yesterday session. I wish I would have put more emphasis on ES yesterday, because if I did, I would have had an even simpler day. Look at the long yesterday. Remember I say look at the levels and look at the 5-minute reaction to the levels. Look at the long yesterday at the 6850, right? You see me pull back to it, upside wick, continuation move higher. Now, granted, we're not talking about trades that are going to make you retire, with a Lambo, but we are talking about trades that will pay the mortgage a little bit, right? So you have a 15-point move here in ES, which was quite nice, and then again, you did the same thing again, it ripped lower, and then obviously held that demand again. Again, not trades that are going to make you rich, but trades that are gonna work nice and probably pay the bills a little bit. Now today's session on the ES chart, we're back at that same 6850. So we know this. We know there's absolutely no scenario where we can be short here, right? We have to wait for it to clear back under the PDL. So PDL breaks under 6850. There's more downside potential, but don't be a muppet, right? And start shorting into the 6850s. That's where I think things can go very wrong. Right? If you see us begin to bounce here and you start building up shorts, right? That's where I think things will go a bit wrong today. Okay. Qs. What about Qs? QQ?
QQQ, it's all about 618.
Yep.
618, that's where we bounced yesterday. 618, that's where we bounced Tuesday. We lose 618. I think we go all the way back to 613.
Yes. Yes.
Honestly.
Very, very clear chart. It would be so nice to see this. This would be like the best case scenario. Where's my draw tool? I have to move my laptop. It's here. So you see bam, 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 right? That would be like the best scenario today's session. Now I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I do agree with that, right? Under that 618.50, 618, under the PDL, under Tuesday's lows, under Monday's lows. That's the break of trend. And you have a gap fill there as well, right?
Yeah.
Gap fill, right? So you guys see this? You guys see this little gap fill here under six. Really, it's under 617 though. That's the only problem. Is it technically 617 is where the gap fill begins, but under 617, under 618 first, right? And then 618 breaks. It's 617. Under 617 is where you get gap fill back to 612, 613. So that's where I think we get the most beautiful price action today would be under these lows. Express, thank you, man. Thank you, much appreciated. Thank you for always supporting Express. That is very kind of you. Thank you. Who else also? Wow, that's $10, man. Mike, this is why you gotta do YouTube, man. You just
all right. Thanks, Express, man. Get the likes up, guys. 10,000, please.
There it is. There it is. That's the.
Come on.
If you do this long enough, you don't have to trade it anymore. You just start doing YouTube. You're just a YouTuber. So
yeah.
That's my mindset, right? All I gotta do is I gotta get that little like plaque in the background. You know, the little gold plaque people have, like little YouTube plaque, and then
there you go.
And then I've made it. All right, let's go over the first ticker. What's your first one?
Okay, so we did SPY QQQ. We could talk about Apple first.
Sure. What are you watching here? The 272 break?
So yeah. So with Apple 272, Apple has been very strong, but if market flips today and we start selling, this can become the weakest name since it's been the strongest name. So if we lose 272, I think we have room back into 270 originally, and then all the way back to 267.
Yeah. I agree with this a lot. Basically, you're just trading the range, right? If we can break down under the range low, then all we've done is trap up all the buyers above the highs, and then move back down to channel low. So you think if we break 272, where's your target? You said
270 initially, and then 266, 267.
Yeah, 270, and then possibly even channel low here, 266. Nice chart. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Nvidia. What about Nvidia?
Nvidia. So we traded this, what was it, yesterday? No, the day before. We traded this on Tuesday Beautiful breakdown. We caught a $2 move on that. The gap hasn't filled yet on Nvidia. So if you guys look at the daily chart, we still have a gap all the way to 188, okay? So I can still watch this for shorts. If we lose 191.50, then we still have room to 188. That's some, $3.50 move. We can watch this for shorts today.
It's funny because this is why it's good to have other people analyzing. Because here's the thing, my gap fill level. When you guys remember, if I told you guys the gap fill level, I always said 190, and I was actually wrong about that, right? And you guys should all be disappointed in the chat, by the way. You guys are all wrong too. So you have 1,000 people in the chat. Every single one of you guys are wrong because you guys didn't correct me here. But I'm wrong about this, right? Look at the 190. It's not 190s or gap fill. It actually is. It actually is 188, right? The close price of that Friday session is yeah, do better. There you go. Is 188. Oh, by the way, Frederick, thank you for that. Much appreciated, Frederick. Thanks, guys. Honey Dribble Day. Much appreciated. Thank you for always supporting. But anyway, it is the 188 as your level. And what Mike is saying basically is if we do clear under the PDL, which is like, what is it, 191.20? 191?
Yeah, yeah. I mean 191 and some change, but I just have 191.50 as my level.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then you could target the gap fill down lower. So absolutely, this does look good for more downside. It does look prime for more downside, and technically the gap fill does complete at 188. So I would still be careful of 190 as your first PT, but 188 is your next level. I like that a lot. What about AMD? I'm curious what you think about AMD.
AMD, I don't have a lot on this chart besides that 244 level, maybe 248. But I'm not really watching AMD today, are you?
No, not really. Yesterday's session, I liked it long. Now today, I don't know what I want to do. And actually, you know what? Let's do this first. Let's go to SMH first. Then we'll go to AMD. SMH is it looks like it wants lower, right? And the reason why I say that is because you had an upside move on Tuesday session. The upside move was at a gap level, right? It was basically at the gap fill level from Friday. See how basically we had that Friday big gap up into Monday, and then on Tuesday session we gap fill down lower. I mean that was when we traded Nvidia shorts. Basically was trading the overall downside momentum on semiconductors into the gap fill level, right? Gap fill level held, and then on Tuesday session, or sorry, Tuesday into Wednesday, we basically consolidated. Right? It's a big consolidation day here on Wednesday, and this consolidation, why did it not lead to upside? Right? Hold demand here, and then into our Wednesday session, no upside, which to me is a bit telling here. I don't like the fact that this chart did not maintain and push higher yesterday. Right? It just consolidated after holding demand. When you hold demand, right, you want to see us not consolidate. You want to see us rip up higher and put pressure on the bears. Okay, now semiconductors do look a bit weak this morning as long as we are under the 358s. This is your big level here, your major colossal zone on your major level here on the SMH chart is simply just a supply right here, 358. It is the highs of yesterday's session. So my pivot here on the chart is as long as we are under 358, I'm actually bear side here on semiconductors. So I would not be longing semis today. I think I would be that's I mean, again, it could be wrong here, but for me, in my mindset this morning, I would not be long semiconductors. Yesterday, I liked AMD longs. Today, I don't really like it because I'm seeing weakness on chips. Now, if we do sell, where do we sell to? Probably back into 349, which would be the lows of Tuesday's session. Okay, if you lose 349, then downside back down into 336. So that's what I'm seeing today on the semiconductor chart. Okay, on AMD, correlating this back to AMD. So AMD yesterday, if you recall, we spoke about that 249 bounce or the 254 break and retest. And both ended up working. We did hold the band yesterday off the open, and then it ripped up higher into 264. Now, it is a strong chart. This is not a chart I'd be focused on for shorts just yet. The only reason why I would short this chart, here's the thing. The only reason why I would ever short AMD is if you break this orange level, right? That's my major bull bear pivot. So even if a chart does look weak today, even if it's like looks like the nice weak chart in the market, I don't get involved unless it breaks under 249. If that breaks, then then I'm looking for downside moves. I'm trying not to read the chat because if I read the chat, I'm going to lose my train of thought.
Yeah, someone said I look like AI.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
I'll take it.
That is diabolical.
That's a compliment.
Yeah, that is diabolical. Someone said Brett going long. That's crazy. All right, under 249, right? For shorts on AMD. That's the only thing I see here in this chart. Okay, let's move on. What else do we have? What are we missing?
Let's see. Nvidia, we did Apple, we did. That's pretty much my watch. We could look at some other names though. Palantir, Tesla.
Let's do Tesla first. So Tesla weakness, right? And
It's about to tap demand here.
it's just been a weak name. This has been a weak name, and I think that I'm proud that we've had a good review in this chart every morning because it just every morning, even yesterday, right? Like look at this chart. Every time it does these little 440s, right? Look, a little 440 tries to hold 440, then bam, right at the market open, downside, retest the rejection level, big downside all session. It would have been nice to Tesla yesterday. Tesla downside would have been really nice. But again, this morning, what do we do now? So we're back at demand again. So like Mike's saying is if you were short this on Wednesday session, congratulations. You know, if you were short it on either the 440 breakdown or if you shorted it under PDL, right? Look at the 433 break and retest. Look at this 433 break and retest right here. You see how we turned that Tuesday's lows into rejection points around 10:30 in the morning? That was your rejection play. This was your short yesterday. It was either here at market open or it was a later day rejection off of PDL. So if you want to trade Tesla today, Rick the Ruler, you already know. Rick the Ruler knows. Every time I talk shit about Tesla, it tends to move, right? So if I say Tesla sucks, it moves that session. But this morning, I don't think it sucks. I think it doesn't suck. It just probably moves down to 424. So 424 is
Right.
go. No, I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. You cannot get me to say that. No way. If you guys know, you know. If you guys know, you know. I can't say anything because everything I say gets clipped on this live stream. Everything gets clipped. 424. That's your demand. That's your demand. That's your Friday's lows. So don't be short of Friday's lows. If you clear Friday's lows, then 416. Right?
Yeah. Do me a favor and look at the daily chart on Tesla, Brett.
Sure.
I'm sorry, guys, but if excuse my French, that daily chart is a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
All right. Until we either break 470 or below 410, these daily candles, I don't even want to touch Tesla.
Yeah.
This is a crazy ugly chart for me.
See, he's talking shit now. I wonder if we have the same if it's gonna work, but
It sucked for so
it sucked
long.
for so long, right? And so crazy. All right, let's get at it. Let's get at Tesla. Palantir. On the Palantir chart, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, Palantir, it also has a daily gap to fill back to 178, 179. But then below that, guys, I think so. Palantir's bounced off 170 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. All right. If Palantir breaks 170 on the next round, I think it goes all the way back to 150.
Yeah, agree with that.
That's a huge demand. But we have to, if we break that, it's going to slide far.
Yeah, but this is still the level, right? That's the one thing is like I've done this so many times. Where I mean, here's the thing, okay? You have like a level of demand, like this, and then basically the stock moves down to level, right? And it moves into level, it moves into level, it moves into level, and then eventually like, oh man, trust me, it's different this time. It's gonna break down, and then bam, right? So that's been Palantir recently. Is like, oh, trust me, this time it's different, right? This time it's got to be this time, right? This time it's different, and I think so too. Like I know, like 172 has to break, but that's the one thing is you need to see this clear under 172, 170, right? And I do agree with you the fact that I have 172 as a level, but what Mike is saying is really 170, and he's right about that, right? You see how these wicks really have changed it to like 170 and change is your new demand zone. So I'll make an adjustment to my demand zone, and I know like if I want to go short here, I have this big green box in my face, and it's going to say, Brett, don't short the big green box. So 170 breaks, then I think we'll see some real downside in the market. But as of right now, I think trust the green box until it breaks. And I'm going to change this as well to 170. That'll be my new pivot. Under 170, where's your target though? Where would you think this goes to?
It goes to 150. We lose 170, 150.
150. Oh yeah, well, we got all the way down to that lows of September, right? So that would be a crazy break. But again, trust the 170s, trust the levels for now, right? Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's go over. What are we missing? I feel like we're missing something. Amazon. Amazon. I just don't know what to do here, and I'll tell you guys. I think it's a good thing that I will give you guys analysis on things that make sense to me, and when things don't make sense to me, I won't say anything. And so right now, I'm just going to reserve the right to say nothing. I don't know what's happening here on Amazon. I see a level here at 243. I see 243, and we're back at the demand zone today. So I would not be short in 243s today, because again, it's that demand that we have here. But it doesn't look so clear to me, right? Yes, I really wanted to see it above the 250 once, because if it cleared above 251, this is where I would expect upside. and I'm happy I didn't trade this long yesterday because this was a name that didn't really work so well. So Amazon above the highs for longs, but again, it's failing here, right? It failed pretty aggressively off the 251, so I think we should just let this play out and see what happens, and then we'll trade it as it does something, right? For example, if we break under the 240s, then we'll look for shorts on the gap fill down, move lower, right? And the reason why I'm saying gap fill is look at the daily chart. Look at the daily chart here on Amazon, right? It has to hold that 240 level, 239 really. So this is your mega demand below. This is your megalodon level. Your megalodon level is this wick low here and the high there, right? So if we fail under 239, then this is gets pretty it gets pretty musty, right? Let's not trade this long until it either holds 251 or short if it breaks under 239, right? That's what I'm seeing here on this chart. Okay. What else do you want to go over? Anything else you're missing?
Someone mentioned Cisco. They had earnings yesterday. 75 level actually looks nice.
75, yeah, daily level.
That's where I'd be looking for bounces. I mean, it's an earnings name, so you have to be careful with IV. But now that someone mentioned it, yeah, 75 looks like a nice level for a bounce.
75. Yeah, I like that. Where are the fib guys at? Oh yeah. Oh, the fib
It lines up
the fib boys are salivating this morning. Look at the 61.8 lining up perfectly with the
lines up
75.
with the 61.8.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where I would take a bounce. I mean, we could even watch that today, depending how the options look.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it. 75, very big level here. 75. That is your new demand here. So if we do pull back there to 75, that's your long spot. Target TGT offered a dividend, so it looks like it. Look at this. I'll show you something. Right, want to see something cool? Look how his target looks pretty bad right now. How it's just kind of like consolidated here. Then put adjust for dividend, and look how doesn't really change it that much. They did offer dividend, okay? Whatever. Just forget I said that, okay? But it does look a little bit better. It looks a little bit better when you adjust for that dividend, okay? So they offered like I think it was a buck dividend here, and it changes the chart a little bit, okay? So obviously the dividend gets subtracted from the stock price. So the stock is a little bit higher than what it's saying, okay? Starbucks, SBUX. Starbucks, same thing. They also offered a dividend this morning. I don't think it actually hit yet, but when it hits, I think they're offering a 60-cent dividend here. But where are we in Starbucks? We're back at supply. Okay, here's the supply zone. The supply zone is right in front of us. It's right there. This is the level we have to clear. Right, we knew this already though. The 90 level is a big level. We have to clear above 90 for more sustained upside. The good thing though on Starbucks is if you look at this chart now, what's going on here? Right, we'll look at the chart for a second. Draw your trend line. Okay. This is your trend line here. It's a pretty horrible trend line, but they broke downtrend, and I do like the fact that it broke downtrend. So now if we build up 90, we'll see 93 and possibly even 100. So Starbucks, big things happening here. Have to hold above 90 for upside. Okay. Save target for the live trading. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Meta. What about Meta? Actually, I'll let you go over that one.
Oh, Meta. Yeah, so Rav is watching this, guys. Remember, he said 616. If you look, that was kind of the top of pre-market, and it was also the top of where it started to bounce yesterday. So I think Rav will be watching for the 616 reclaim today. And then downside, I mean, it's just that 600 level.
Yeah. What do you think about long term though? I'm actually curious your thoughts here. What do you think about
Long
long term?
term, yeah, I mean, for me, like I would need like 500 to go long.
I'm actually
It's
watching the like around the 550s, 560s. What do you think about that?
Yeah, let's see, 550 would be, yeah, that's 30% down from all-time highs. So that you could start dollar cost averaging into it there.
That's my plan here. I plan to
Yeah.
I plan to DCA here, dollar cost into this at 550. So let's see what happens here. And yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Where like where's the daily 200 here on this chart? The daily 200 is way over here. Is way at the 670s. So I mean, look at almost every time Meta has cleared under the daily 200 SMA. I mean, just look at it historically how it's reacted to it, right? It sustains under it for a few days, for a few weeks rather, and then it tends to reclaim rip it, right? Reclaim rip it, right? Here actually was a period of time it was under for a long time, right? This was almost a year of being under that daily 200 SMA between what is this between January 2022 and and January 2023, right? So some actual sustained downside here on Meta for a long time. But here on this chart, we're just under this daily 200 SMA. So I don't think it's a chart we have to long immediately, but I do think it's an opportunity. And so where I would look for opportunity is going to be back at the 550s. So I'm watching this as well, and we'll see if we can get that trade there. Okay. That being said, I think we can probably finish a few minutes early, unless you have any other tickets you want to go over.
No, I can't think of anything else. I think we covered our bases, guys. You know our plan. So we'll see you all on live. Thanks for joining.
Yep. Bye, guys. Have a great trading session. See you guys all live. Bye, guys.